making a video. Yay. Response video to Nick, who was gracious enough to post my stuff here on his website, which I sort of like. I like the by somebody else's initiative only kind of thing. Then I don't have to take responsibility for posting crap. But anyway, I mean, eventually I should make an account there and do it properly. I gotta turn this stuff off the computer here. So I did write up some stuff, actually. It's not much, but it's just the beginning of what I am economically and what I'm proposing. Just because people say things and you're like, I didn't say that. That's not what I'm saying. And you're like, this kind of, you're arguing straw man people, because that's not what I proposed, but whatever. So let's read some of this stuff, I guess, right? It's a little annoying. We have to hit this show more button all the time and such. And so it is a little bit irritating. So this guy, Snidmister, morning Nick, judging the amount of commenting, it would appear you're feeling a lot better. Yeah, that's good. Gary, I don't know where to start here. So much black and white in a world of gray. Yeah, no, sorry. I mean, that's just kind of bogus. Things fall into categories. There's a fence, let's say, and most things are on one side or they're on the other side. They're either necessary and vital or they're not. It's that kind of thing. You can live with it or you can live without it. Or, what's a good example? I mean, the gray is just not very big, the gray part. And I'm just suggesting that we deal with the stuff that we know is no good and the stuff that we know is good. And just try to say, yeah, let's put the good in bronze and let's, try to get that stuff that's on the other side the hell out of there. Let's get rid of the crap. I mean, we can tell the difference between crap and food, right? I mean, if it's in the lawn and it's lumpy and it's smelly, it's crap. Okay, and if it's on your plate and it's semi-pretty and it smells kind of good, then it's probably food. We can do that. It's not gray. I mean, when you go into the world out there, you can figure out what you should eat and what you shouldn't. Anyway, my question to Gary really would be, where is the cutoff? What point does someone's desire for extra become wasteful? Again, I'm not talking about, some sort of draconian force that tells everybody what their entertainments are. I said movies are semi-productive. They give people a lot of value. A lot of gratification is accomplished through this mechanism. So TVs. Good idea. The commercials suck, but I mean the idea of TV is a damn good idea. The fact that we're letting it be financed only financing programs based on the lowest common denominator who are going to be convinced to buy their insurance because a lizard told them to, that's a real problem. All the programming is being generated to an audience, okay, and that audience doesn't include everybody. Okay, it doesn't include anybody smart enough not to be convinced to buy something by a commercial. So the people who don't see the commercials, their brain don't even process them. No programming is being created for that audience. That's a problem. And that should be fixed. And what I'm saying is let's fix it, fuckers, people. Alright. So again, people should decide, but they should decide with earned money. Okay, it should be earned money that they're wasting. Money they earn, they sweat for, they did something inconvenient and unpleasant for. Alright, if they want to waste money, they had to do something inconvenient and unpleasant to earn, then go ahead and waste it. I don't have much of an argument with you. I'm arguing is that most of the money being spent in our economy is not earned money, it's unearned money, and that's why it is spent poorly. Because no one had to bleed for it. No one had to spend any time in the coal mine to get it. You get me? Anyway, I think we can agree that pyramids are an extravagant and indulgent use of resources. Well, if that's the best you can do. I mean, if you can't say something like, holy shit, preposterous insanity. I mean, come on. Resources, it's the whole value of their nation was wasted on this. They destroyed their civilization by this huge waste of labor. If they would have spent the money on anything else, just about anything conceivably else, except a 200-foot giant cat turd, they couldn't waste the money anymore. And is there a sillier description of a waste of money than a fucking 200-foot tomb? Whatever. 500 foot? I don't even know what the fuck they are. I think I can agree that a dam that boasts the quality, that boosts the quality of life of the city, money well spent. But there is a line between And compared to what? Well, you just made the comparison, didn't you? You just took something that's definitely on one side of the fence and said, that's definitely on one side of the fence. And you saw something on the other side and said, that's definitely on that side. Well, I'm saying let's put more things on that side and let's take less things over on this side and let's throw them over to that side. Not that complicated. I think we can agree, I think we have to consider the economic knock-on created when discussing these topics. Well, I'm sorry. If you're going to talk about knock-on, then you have to talk about knock-off. All right? And the knock-off of what happened to television, for example. The fact that you made it commercially driven and therefore destroyed the content. So that's a knock-off. So again, I just think all you have to do is say, what is it in principle? I mean, really. I mean, the fact that the pyramids got lucky and got turned into an amusement park really is kind of irrelevant. That if you were tomorrow going to decide whether to build pyramids or not, you would know the likelihood is this is a preposterous waste of money. I mean, you really would be able to figure that out. Screw knock on, knock off. You know what it is in substance, and you know whether it's a good risk or a bad risk, right? So now we're talking about risk equations, and most of the time you know what the likelihood is. I mean, sometimes you can get very lucky if you break your leg. You go to the hospital, you meet Miss Wright, she happens to be a Rockefeller, you know, bing, bang, boom, you broke your leg and you made $1 zillion. I mean, yeah, but we know that's not really a reason to go outside right now and smash your leg with a hammer, right? There's no real logic for you to tell somebody else, hey, broken leg worked for me, try it. Right? You know that's not true. Alright. When you get right down to it, even a jet ski can be extravagant. What's wrong with just swimming? Well, I agree. But again, that's not my point. My point is jet skis are 10,000 happy people versus one yacht, and that was the comparison. And my secondary point is as long as people are buying this shit with earned money, I don't have a problem. But they're not buying it with earned money. There's people who are just inheriting money and squandering it on shit. Alright, in my opinion, you need to take more balanced overhead to look at the picture. Well, in my opinion, you need to wear a better shirt. It's ugly as fuck. And, you know, do something with your ears. Get them cut back. What was the economic benefit of the jet ski production, etc., and quality of life? What was the economic benefit? Well, whatever. Economic benefit of jet ski production. See, there where you're in trouble again. I mean, unless you were going to just say that it's by unqualified standard a good, jet skis. You know, they're not environmentally good. I don't think they're socially good. So I'm still going to argue that this isn't the best way for employees to get paid money. We should be paying people to do productive things. Jet skis, I don't think, fall into the category, but that's a personal opinion, so why don't we use an example that's more relevant, you know, like small print on contracts. You know, what's the balanced overhead look or the benefit of creating people to write small print? Yeah, I don't think there's any benefit whatsoever. Let's get rid of that shit. That's the task, is a task far, far too complex, as it eventually leads to, who decides questions. Well, again, you want to again, just ignore the fact that there's a fence and there's obvious things on one side and obvious things on the other side. So again, just focus on the fence and ignore the reality, in my opinion. That's all you're saying here. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to hear a solution. I don't want to fix anything, because I'm just busy walking a fence. I mean, what the fuck good is that? We know there are things on these extreme sides, and if we don't fix any of it because we're all too afraid to get off the fence for a minute, that's just fucking bogus as hell, in my opinion. That is just as bogus can be. It's not too complex. Again, I'm not talking about measuring the quality of life. I'm talking about measuring the quality of work. And I'm talking about measuring the quality of how we distribute earnings. Okay? That we should give it to people based on what they sacrifice, not on what vagina they fall out of. So if you're giving to society, you should get paid. And if you're taken from society, you shouldn't get paid. To me, having super wealthy people and super poor is more of a symptom than a problem. Well, I don't know. You know, have I made some declarative statement regarding symptom problem? It doesn't really matter. If it's a symptom, it's being caused by a problem, so fix the problem. You know, it doesn't matter. Somewhere the balance is wrong, but is it as clear-cut as Gary would suggest? Well, I don't think so. He's trying to overanalyze me, thinks, or assign blame. Oh, well, whatever. Assign blame for no purpose. Yeah, I blame the criminal for being, for fucking up. I say that's a piece of garbage. Bad programming. Stupid shit. Yeah, fuck that. We don't need that crap. I mean, come on. Blame? Yeah, you blame the things that steal value. And I've explained how bad labor steals value of good labor. Good labor is what creates all value. And anytime bad labor is expended, it's compromising good labor. Good labor has to pay for it. Productive workers pay for everything in the end. Ultimately, they finance everything. Okay, a productive worker, a worker who sticks A into B and creates C, and C has 3 times the value of A and B, that worker, that guy, is creating the value. And everybody else is taking a piece of his value if he's not getting all of C. And I'm not saying you should get all of the value of C. I'm just saying as we apportion the value of having a C that is 3 times better than having just A's and B's, that value should be apportioned based on earnings, based on sacrifice, based on some sort of reasonable calculation, not some calculation that goes, well, whose vagina did he fall out of? That's ludicrous. So this is just overanalyze. I'm overanalyzing because I figure out that, oh yeah, maybe you shouldn't give away the trophy. You don't give people gold medals for falling out of vaginas, do you? Why don't we just reform the Olympics and just give the medals to people who fall out of the magic vagina? And let's establish whose vagina is magic based on whether or not they inherited money. I mean, this is ludicrous. In no game would we say, yeah, that's the way we should decide the game. Completely random. No earnings whatsoever. We should give victory to somebody completely by some idiotic, preposterous, arbitrary standard. Because he has, only people with, feet bigger than a size 10. Right? And we just give it all to them. We give them all the trophies because they got the biggest feet. I mean, stupid. And I'm not over-analyzing to be able to say, that's fucking stupid. All right. To me, you can't try to judge what is wasteful or over-extravagant as they are subjective. Oh, so again, so up there you said you could figure out that pyramids were stupid, but now you can't figure it out. Oh, great. Whatever. We need to address imbalances in the system so that wealth is more evenly dispersed and people judge for themselves what is wasteful allocation of their funds. Well, duh. That's exactly what I'm arguing for. So again, so now you've tried to make this sound like it's something I haven't suggested? Huh? I mean, and then you say you can't try to judge what is wasteful or extravagant. Well, it's basically built into the same argument of judging what work is valuable. So you've just defeated your own comment. Apologies if Gary gets to this point, but stopped watching halfway through these vids. They are a bit messy. I think the style doesn't click with me. Well, whatever. So here's another brilliant commentary. I think the style doesn't click with me. So this is what gets in your people's way, right? So this is why you can't have an argument with somebody or you can't discuss something because, well, the style just didn't click with me. So, yeah, I'm moving on. I don't get it. Sorry. I hate things. There's people I can't stand listening to their voice. Or I can't stand some other thing. But I still say, okay, well, this is where you got to go to hear the argument. But whatever. I mean, me is not you, obviously. Obviously, you're inhibited by other things. But whatever, who the fuck cares? I just couldn't care less. You know what? I really couldn't give a motherfucking shit about your style concerns. Dumb bastard humans. On the nature causing suffering, though, from your writing above, I would say I'm with Gary on that. Okay, that's the philosophy stuff. Yeah, so we won't get into that argument here. Trying to stick to the economic shit. Alright, Mystic commented to this guy's comment. 2 things apart, and then I will have another comment box, but I'll get to it tomorrow, blah, 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 end of the beginning of the little episode. I think I've stumbled on a better format. Oh, okay, he's just doing business. Gary's pet word is efficiency. There we go. And this, economically speaking, as you say, runs smack bang into who decides. Well, I don't think it does. I've suggested completely democratic ways to do this. So I'll give you my list of things. You can balance. I'd say there's two interests, consumers and laborers, and the two interests are basically the same people. They just wear a different hat when they're, when it's to their advantage. When they're consumers, and when they're laborers, and they have a different interest when they're in those two positions. But that conflict is the conflict, and you're just trying to balance the desire of consumers to get everything for nothing, and the desire of laborers to get paid to go to sleep. And those are the two interests that need to be balanced. And fuck the the owners can be just eliminated from the equation. We don't need to have a conversation about them. So who runs businesses? We can elect people to do that. Okay, and we can hold them accountable, like either they fucked it up or they didn't fuck it up, and we can decide whether they keep their job or not. But we don't have to have zillion-dollar CEOs with parachutes, golden, or whatever. We don't have to give them dildos up their ass and this up their thing, and this. We don't have to rub that and suck this and do all that crap for these fucking cunts. No, we can go to Harvard and hire like 10 good graduates and say, here's your task, brainiacs. Run a friggin' business. That means you hire some people that actually know what the hell they're doing. Okay, you give them, their salary. You create an environment where they can do their work in peace and quiet and get the most out of them. Yeah, and that's going to be your big job, is to manage the little employees and keep them functioning well. You think you can handle it? You think you can handle it for $200,000 a year? Yeah, I think so. Come on. This isn't complicated. Alright, so let me see if I'm done with that mystic comment. Oh no, this is the worst of it. Adam Smith's invisible hand moves billions of people to make trillions of efficient decisions. Well, see, here you go. Efficient decisions. So all day, every day. No, I'm sorry. Most of the decisions are always maniacal. How much money can we make off of this without doing any work? It's scheming, completely self-interested scheming interest. How can we dupe consumers to buy this shit? Oh, maybe we get a lizard to sell it to them. Yeah. Let's not tell them the real product is a piece of crap. Let's not just tell them it's 50-cent software we got running that's going to decide what their rates are going to be. No, we won't tell them any of the truth. We'll just lie to them. We'll have a lizard do it because nobody can hate the little talking lizard. Right? And we give him an Australian accent, so he talks all nifty and cool and I'm putting some shrimps on the barbie. Blah, 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 blah. Some kind of bullshit, so we can just bullshit our way through life. Alright, that's what this invisible hand keeps creating, is tons and tons and tons and buckets and buckets and buckets of fucking goddamn bullshit. Alright, it is a system that is impossible to beat. Well, I say bullshit to that. We haven't even tried to beat it. We haven't had one other alternative system except crazy, insane dictator. What other system have we actually tried? What other one have we field tested in some way? Oh, that's right. Never ever in the history of mankind, because nobody can get rid of these damn rich people. Alright. The excesses that can build up are a grave problem. Well, if they're grave, then I guess there's something more than just billions and trillions of brilliant decisions being made. I guess there's some other kind of decision being made that necessitates a free system be constrained so that it can preserve its advantages. Well, obviously I would say it be constrained all the way down to the point where you don't give people money for falling out of vaginas. Yeah, I'd say that would be a really good constraint. Shit. Whoa, I gotta get this done. Anyway, it's always something. People in life. Where the hell was I? Gary, of course, thinks a few people with sweeping powers could do a better job. Okay, now that's not what I think. Well, I think it's true. I think a few people could, alright? I mean, I think if we just, had a standard for deciding who those few people were, I think Albert Einstein could figure out how to decide what's a good idea, what's a bad idea for investment. I think you could do it. I think I can do it. I think lots of people are quite capable of doing it, as long as they don't get caught up in some personal interest thing and all this other kind of crap, and, well, I have a brother-in-law who needs a job, and blah, blah, blah.